Hello, I'm Tiffany from Mellow Vibes, and this is another edition of Topics with Tiffany. So, first off, yes, I am in my holiday pajamas and what um, I want to talk about um, why you should start young with wellness. So, if you don't know by now, on the numerous videos I've done, that I got into wellness super early. I was around 12 or 13. Um, yeah, I think it was eighth grade, so 13. And no, but I think I was reading about it before that, then whatever. It's been over 20 years. So I got into it really because of not feeling great. I didn't receive a lot of affirmation and encouragement and really attention when I was young. So and then the attention that I did receive, maybe like negative attention from people and from classmates and all that stuff, and bullying and all that, and things like that. So I had low self-esteem. And anyway, I was aware enough to realize this is not how I should be living my life. Feeling like this. So I started getting like pamphlets in eighth grade on in health class about self-esteem, and I started reading books and getting self-help books in the library. I used to be in the library at least every week because I would read like you get your library books for 3 weeks. I would read like 8 books every 3 weeks. So I started getting self-help books as well, and really building on myself. But it'd be great if I didn't ever have to start there to begin with, right? So why it's important. I started mentoring kids when I was a kid as well. I was a student mentor junior and senior year of high school, and it was really a great experience. And talking with people who were, I was 16, right? So when I was 16, I started mentoring the 13-year-olds at the school down the hill from my high school, where I went to middle school as well. And I had a group of, I think, 4 or 5 students, and it was really interesting to see that like, no one had talked to them about certain things before. No one had talked to them and let them know that it was okay to not be involved in certain things. And maybe because they needed to hear from someone who's more their age group, their peer. But someone talked to me about feeling pressure to drink and to like be involved in sexual activity, and you're 13. And, me sharing with them that, I've never done any of those things. I was like, I've never even kissed a guy. And they're like, wait, what? Like, you don't have to do that? And it's like, no, you really don't. And they were just like, oh. Talking with kids about stuff like that. When I was senior year, I had freshmen mentors, not the same students that I had because they would have been freshmen at that point, but a different group, and we would meet weekly to go over what they were having trouble with, were they struggling in any subject, or the things that were bothering them about, being in a new environment and stuff like that. And just, creating the environment for people to express their feelings, even if you're not specifically talking about wellness things like meditation or whatever, but having the space for youth to talk about what it is they're going through is important. Different after school activities when I was in middle school, when I was in 12, yeah, see, that's why I started when I was in 12. When I was 12, because I was in an after school program for modeling, but it was led by a modeling agency, but it was also a lot of other things aside from modeling, because it had to do a lot with working on your self-esteem, and we learned how to put on makeup and tweeze our eyebrows and stuff like that. But it was a lot of just confidence building, and that is exactly what I needed. So that was really that was my foundation. And since then, I've always wanted to start an after school program so that I could get people while they're young. It's really painful to see adults that, you know, walk around in various ways of various representations of pain, whether that be just being totally shut down like a robot, or being just superly, that's not a word, or being super dramatically emotional all the time, or being completely not self-aware. It is easier to just start when they are younger. So I have always wanted to, you know, develop something where I could work with youth, where also they're not as resistant, right? They're moldable. And not that adults are lost causes, because that's not the case. I work with adults now, but it's just easier to do with youth while their mind is not formed. You know, your brain isn't finished until you're 25, forming. So, yeah, like creating that space where there is trust, and a space where they can be vulnerable and have that be okay, have that be encouraged, and also just a space where they can learn how to do things, how to meditate, how to express their feelings in a healthy way without lashing out. Yeah, like that is why it is important to start people off really young so they become really grounded, you know, open, healthy individuals. And of the people that, you know, I know, like myself, who I would say are more on the healthy side of being able to express themselves, communicate with other people effectively, listen effectively. You know, they started on the younger side of getting into self-development. And because because practice becomes permanent. I love that saying. My hypnotherapy teacher would always say practice makes permanent, because it's not perfect. There is no perfect. Practice makes permanent. So it becomes a habit. And so if there's anything that you can do with youth who are around you, if you have children, if you have nieces and nephews, things like that, start them young. Talk to them about their feelings, let them know it's okay to express themselves. I really try to do that as much as I can when I see my nieces and nephews, and talk to them, you know, like they're people, and not like they have to do everything that I say, and like they don't have autonomy, you know, stuff like that. It's super helpful. And let me know what you think. And let me know if you've started any kind of wellness activities with your children or the kids in your life. You know, writing activities are really great for wellness. I teach a writing class through Bloom Healing Arts Academy, like once a month. And that is something that's really helpful. It's writing is a super helpful like check-in, especially when I, as a youth, felt like I couldn't talk to people. Like everything is written down. Like I could find those old notes and journals now. I can read poems and know exactly what I was going through when I wrote that. So writing is a great way, especially for people who don't feel like they can express themselves, they don't feel comfortable expressing themselves vocally, which I was that person. And yeah, still sometimes in certain situations working through that, because we're all work in progress, right? So again, let me know if there's anything that you're working on with the youth in your life, or if there's any suggestions that you would like to have about what you can do with younger kids. And I guess it depends on what age, but yeah, I think it's important to start wellness young, to instill confidence, to instill, you know, being grounded, and being healthy mentally. You know, mental health has been like a huge subject in the past few years that people are finally talking about, because people are just expected to just go with whatever's happening and not talk about how they're feeling and just blend in. And you know, no one's being able to express themselves. And now we're finally being able to talk about stuff like that in the open. I mean, I've been talking about stuff like this, but people there's more awareness on it. You know, there's more attention on it. And so, you know, let me know your thoughts on this, and I will see you on the next Topics with Tiffany. Peace and mellow vibes.